Number 4 of the 2019 MotoOption Supercross Series, live here on SYS TV. My name is Kellen Brower, and I'd like to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to Oakland. We are here for the 4th round of the series. A lot of chaos has already commenced this year, and here to discuss this whole event with us tonight. First of all, I'd like to welcome in 2012 250E Supercross champion and 2001 single spike national champion. Did I get it right, Mark?
250B solo studded national champion.
Solo studded. Oh man, I almost had it right. Well, Mark Zeidler's here.
Classes in ice racing, so there's like classes with 2 riders. That's the solo part.
Well, Mark Zeidler here in the booth, as well as the man of the MX Simulator legendary quartet. It is the one, the only Chris Riesenberg. How are we doing tonight, Checkers?
I'm back. I'm home.
I know you're back. You lived in California for like a month, but you're back.
I am back and on the sim grind.
Oh man, this is going to be a good night of racing. We're so happy you guys could join us for it. We're going to get racing underway in just a moment, but before we do that, guys, we have an epic championship battle to discuss in this 450 class. Seabolt winning the last 2 of the 3 rounds has propelled him into the points lead, but it's still very close at the top of the table and kind of a little bit unpredictable heading into Oakland. So, Chris, I'll throw it to you. I don't know how much you've been able to keep track of what's been going on, but out of Seabolt, Haley, Leclerc, Holmes, Smith, I mean, which one of these guys are we looking forward to and moving into this later part of the season as taking this whole thing, their control of the series, back away from some of our top contenders?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, that what you need to start to see is who can nail the starts consistently, both heat races and main events, figure out how to consistently be on the podium week in and week out and start to separate themselves from the field. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but that is the guy that's going to take control of this series right now.
Absolutely, and we'll keep an eye out on that 450 class. In terms of the 250 class, of course, we've seen Craig Richards holding the points lead in the early runnings of the series so far, and Mark being a former champion of the series, as we mentioned. This short series, you really have to get things done quickly, and so far it seems like everybody's actually done a pretty good job of not having the, quote, bad round yet. Do you see any of our top 250 contenders maybe having that tonight?
Well, you know, the thing about the bad round is you never see it coming, so I definitely do not.
So it's always a wild card, is it, that bad round?
Yeah, no one plans on doing terrible, let me tell you that.
Well, just taking a look at this track, maybe, do you see something that's really going to stick out as a challenge for these 250 riders in comparison to that 450 class?
Honestly cannot comment yet, as I just got home from a meeting, so.
Darn, Mark, falling short of the number. That's okay.
I apologize. Yeah.
We'll take a look at our qualifying times while we have a moment, and our fastest 250 qualifier this evening. Surprise, surprise, Australia's own Clint Martin on the top of the timesheets, number 70 with a 57.7. That's very impressive out of Martin, just nipping out by 0.3 of a second over Hunter Porch on the number 99. Devin Ryan, a 58.5 on the 15. Craig Leake, winner at round number 2 in Glendale. He was your 4th fastest qualifier on a 58.5 as well. And Craig Richards, your points leader, on a 58.5 as well. Last week's winner, Sean Klein, 58.7, so just a couple tenths off those guys, but interestingly enough, qualifies 9th. So we're really looking at some close times in this 250 class. And jumping real quick to the 450 class, perhaps another surprise at the top of our 450 timesheets. It is the number 24 machine of Matthias Janis on a 55.5. That's incredible, that lap time. He was able to edge out our points leader, Jeremy Seabolt, who's on a 55.9. Smith, Haley, and Leclerc also in the top 5. So your championship contenders find themselves right up there at the sharp end of the field. We're getting ready to go racing, though, as they have just, I believe, grabbed UIDs. And we're going to get started here in just a moment. So, Chris, throwing it to you because Mark has yet to really see much about this track. What do you see that is kind of unique about this week's layout here at Oakland, and maybe something that will separate guys as the night goes on?
Well, a couple things I think that are going to really stand out. Under a minute, fast laps means more lappers throughout the night. Of course, not much of that last week with the Triple Crown format and the shorter races. Along with that, that means more laps on the racetrack, and that's going to affect the road a little bit more. You're going to see a little bit more breakdown in the race surface throughout the night. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, as well as there's multiple sand sections. And although they're not in the corners, they could get pretty beat to where you have to switch lines before the end of the race. So we'll have to see how those shape up through the night. And then other than that, there's a lot of split option lane sections that we'll have to keep an eye on and see which is better as the night goes on.
Absolutely. And as you brought up there to the road system, which if you're new to MotoOption SX racing, the road was introduced last season in the series at the very beginning. It is basically terrain deformation for those of you that maybe don't understand the road system. As a rider goes through, he creates either some sort of divot or rut in the surface. There are different spots and sections of the track where the road will obviously come up more, looking at things like sand sections as a opposition there. And Mark, from what you've seen so far this year in the first 3 races of the year, what do you think about the road? Have you liked what you've seen, the way the tracks have broken down? Is it anything that really kind of stands out?
No, I think Chris has done. Yes, I think Chris has done an excellent job with all his work over the off season in learning to adapt to the system and how to make the tracks break down in a way that does affect the racing in a positive manner, where it reflects more what you would see in a real life environment versus just forming gigantic berms that everyone can rail in every corner. So yeah, I think it's been great. It's actually been a factor in the racing. Maybe not so much in Glendale, but definitely at the first 2 Anaheim.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the track will break down this evening, as well as Chris had mentioned. We're going to see a few different sections, I think, really getting rough and unique. Oakland always provides some different kind of racing, as it's in a multi-purpose stadium, the last one of its kind, with football and baseball both being used in here. We're just about ready to go racing, though, as they're getting 250 heat number 1 racked up on the gate. And would one of you kindly take us through a rundown?
Ooh, they just left the gate, so that's going to be a little difficult. So I'm going to probably wait until they actually line up for the heat, but keep an eye on Craig Richards. He is on the gate here in this heat number 1. He'll be someone that we want to definitely watch throughout the racing action. I think, again, Sean Klein, in my opinion, is starting to try to take control of this series. He's got a big deficit to make up. The way that Richards is going to prevent that from happening is protecting his points lead, and the way that he needs to do that is good starts. So if he nails this heat race start, it'll give me a lot of confidence on what he can bring to the main event. I think he has the speed, but it could really throw you off base if you're not nailing the starts.
Absolutely. And speaking of the start, Mark, you've been in these situations before with the high pressure situation and perhaps a tight start this week with it being a fast left-hand sweeper. Where do you see being the optimal gate for tonight's racing to get a good jump and get a good start?
You're definitely going to want to be down the inside, 3-4 gates in, so you don't get chopped into the hay bales right away or the tough blocks right away if you don't get a good jump, but you definitely don't want anyone to the inside of you entering that first corner.
It's going to put you on the outside of turn 2. That's
not going to matter. They're all going to be piled up.
I think, well, there'll be definitely the pile up in turn number 1, but I don't think you can just sneak around the inside and rely on turn number 2, because that tight turn in turn number 2 is definitely going to cause a pile up as well, I would assume. And
I don't think the rhythm into there is tricky enough to really cause much of a problem, but in a pack, I guess I do know how it goes.
Yeah. The key is just to lock your rear end down Leclerc style. Make sure you get to the first turn first and take off out front. Definitely. Although his starts have not been as dominant this year. It looks like some other guys maybe have figured it out a little bit. Or maybe he's lost his reaction time. I'm not sure, but we're about to go racing with heat number 1, and I'll give you guys a rundown as soon as I load in, which I should hopefully be ninja fast. And on the gate, we have Jack Gatlin, Craig Richards, Devin Davis, Jonathan Hughes, Jordan Moxey, Fred Heather, Neil Fitzpatrick, Devin Ryan, Clint Martin, Jake Warden, Robert Wilson, Kevin Gonzalez, Daniel Batchelor, Ethan Parks, Jason Tunavant, Chase Blakely, Connor Grogan, Seth Garrett, Christian Reed, Ian Holm rounding out your field, and the gate is about to fall.
And here we go. It is time to go racing in Oakland as the gate is down. A few guys hitting the gate.
Richards barges the gate.
And it was Hughes with Blakely side by side. It's Blakely, BPC number 16 with your whole shot. He's right ahead of Jonathan Hughes right there as well. A couple guys trying to break out front early as Blakely misses the rhythm. And here goes Hughes trying for the lead on the outside. He's going to get it as they head to the triple side by side. Nearly rubbing number plates. And Hughes takes the lead.
He just cut over hard on Blakely. Blakely's probably not going to take too kindly for that. He about got his front wheel completely sawed off. They're both going to go inside right here in the rhythm. Get a 3-3 out. Nice stretch there for the 250s early in the race.
Yeah, a small mistake from Hughes caused him kind of bottle up, and Blakely closed right up behind him. Now he's putting the pressure on your leader. Meanwhile, Jake Warden also closing in from third as we come down to complete lap number 1. It is the 134 of Hughes from the 16 of Blakely. And Jake Warden right there in the background. Look at Blakely inside in the sand. Can't quite get it done.
All those lines worked out about evenly right now. We'll have to see as the racing shapes up if maybe one line becomes a little faster. Wow, Hughes tried to double across the start. Blakely didn't. Blakely looks like he might be carrying a little more speed. Every time he makes a mistake, he closes right back behind. Different rhythms again.
Yeah, Blakely going for the 3-3-3 on line, and a little mistake at the end is going to cost him, so Hughes opens up a small gap. Blakely going to have to try to go back to the drawing board as we got Warden in third, Devin Davis under attack in fourth from Devin Ryan as Davis is on the ground, and Wilson just able to avoid him. He's also going to lose a spot to Moxie. Donovan goes through, Batchett goes through, and here is your points leader, Craig Richards, also trying to make his way through, but not quite able to just make that pass right now on Davis.
Yeah, Richards running back in the 10th spot, so he's got to make up at least one more spot to get up into a qualifying ride here in the heat race, but plenty of time to do it, as Batchelor just put Donovan down on the ground.
Indeed, Daniel
about
Batchelor
that 7th spot.
Putting Chase Donovan on the deck. That's going to push Donovan well out of transfer as Jack Gatlin goes down in front of him.
Battle for the lead.
Up front, Hughes and Blakely going at it. Blakely around the outside is going to take over your race lead in Oakland. A small mistake from Hughes. Looks like he slid the rear end out. And that's all she wrote. Blakely to the front.
Blakely is still trying to go over 3-3-3, not able to get it. Hughes makes a mistake of his own. It's going to work out about evenly, but these guys are trying to set sail out front. Jake Warden keeping it close. All of them going wide before that triple, leaving the door wide open. And watch those last transfer battles late in the race after if they need to go wide to get that triple. It's going to be real interesting.
Ooh, Warden a mistake there, and sneaky Devin Ryan has been weaving his...
Devin the snake.
He's sneaking his way up here. Is Devin Ryan. He was back in 5th when we first saw him. Now up to 3rd as he moves around Warden. And a set sail after the Brit Jonathan Hughes there in the 2 spot. Oh, but he's down. Down on the ground, loses a couple spots. Looks like Moxie was able to slice on through, as well as his teammate, Robert Wilson, Devin Ryan's teammate, that is.
Update on Richards. He's dropped back to the 12th spot, so he's actually further out of a transfer spot now than he was.
Final transfer position going to SYS FAMMX rider, Ethan Parks right now.
Not for long. Here comes fastest qualifier, the Aussie sensation of the evening, Clint Martin, as he's trying to double across the start straight. Looking inside on Parks.
Ugly.
Later,
Yeah.
Aussie lag at its finest as Martin puts...
Parks got parked.
yeah, Parks on the ground. Good one, Mark.
That's what I'm here
Martin
for.
Set that a straightaway before, had the angle set in, locked and loaded on the block pass to take that final transfer spot for now, as he's trying to move through the field.
Yeah, he's got a little ways to go before he gets to Davis. Meanwhile, Davis is in a hot and heavy battle with Batchelor and Wilson. Wilson coming up a bit short on the triple is going to allow Batchelor to get a run through the whoops here, maybe. Inside before the finish. No contact. Look at how deep that sand corner is already digging out.
The whole track looks like it's definitely breaking down very fast, so we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the night.
So Batchelor trying to go back to work on Wilson. Meanwhile, up ahead of them, it is still Devin Ryan. Jordan Moxie ahead of that. We got Jake Warden up here as well. Battle for the lead once again. It has gone back to Hughes, and he's together with Blakely, and Blakely is fortunately not off the bike, but he goes down, gets up, and he is still in that 2 spot.
Interesting line going into that split section. I just saw Jake Warden went from inside, but he crossed over to the low side to tire tap off. Carried a lot more speed. We'll have to see if any of these other guys pick up on that throughout the night.
And just as you mentioned, Warden, he went over the bars on the tire tap before the triple and coughed up 3rd. Now a couple other riders sliding through. We see Wilson getting down the inside of Moxie. Here's Batchelor trying to do the same, and he will do so. So these guys all slicing back and forth early on. Actually, we're almost to the end of this heat race. up front, 134 machine, Jonathan Hughes, known for his good starts, and so far that has really helped him out in these heat races this year. Gets good starts in the heats, able to cruise out front. Not necessarily unheated though, as Blakely is going to start putting more charge on him here down the stretch. Looks like white flag will probably be waving next time by. Blakely just throwing it down on the triple. And suddenly this battle for the lead is really starting to heat up again. Oh, Blakely! Woo! Saved it, and he's actually almost going to get the lead as the white flag is waving.
Yes.
Down the inside, Blakely to the front in Oakland.
Battle for the last transfer is on right now. Robert Wilson chasing down Clint Martin. They're in the 9 and 10 spots. Only about a lap and a quarter to go for these guys, or a little less than that, even as they only have a whip section and a lap to go.
And remember, Wilson dealing with perhaps some of the lag bubble associated with Clint Martin, the rider out of Australia. So I wonder where Wilson's going to pick his spot if he can.
Big hole for starting in the beginning of that sand there. It's really sucking the speed out of these 250s.
Both these guys going for the on-off 3 line in this first rhythm. They're both getting it fairly clean. Actually, look at Wilson closing right up here. Oh boy, it is on. Final transfer spot on. Wilson high sides and he's down. Meanwhile, up front, Hughes survives the attack from Blakely and he wins 250 heat number 1. Blakely right there in second. Looks like Devin Ryan has third on lock. Moxie fourth. Davis fifth. Here's Richards trying to get Warden for sixth. Side by side in the whoops. Who's it going to go to? Warden has the inside. And it's Richards around the outside.
What a bitch. Let him go around the outside in the last corner.
Batslett in 8th. And Martin comes across in 9th. Not what our fastest qualifier wanted, but fortunately going to the main event. Unfortunately.
We talked about that crazy start. Richards and Martin both going to have terrible gate picks. They're probably going to be on the outside of the gate or all the way up on gate number 1. I'm guessing to be the outside, and that's a risky spot to be starting on this start.
Absolutely. It's not going to help either one of their cases in trying to win tonight's main event, but at the very least, I'm sure they're stoked to not have to go to that last chance qualifier and really potentially not make it tonight. Gonzalez, Gatland, Neil Fitzpatrick coming down to the line, and that should give us cuts. And change for the win. Blakely gets the win on cuts. Dirty little cheater, Jonathan Hughes with 1.08 seconds of cuts.
I knew I never liked those British bastards.
He is not going to get the win here, so he will not take that optimal gate pick with him. Instead, it goes to BPC rider Chase Blakely. And that is 250 heat number 1 here at Oakland. 250 heat number 2 coming up next. And in that one, we should see last week's winner and round 2 winner, Sean Klein and Craig Leake, respectively. We'll see how they're able to fare in their heat races.
Looks like we're going to take a little 5-minute break before heat 2. They said there's a flash remover that's just been posted, probably to help a little bit with performance for some of the guys.
Okay.
So how does this stuff not get tested in advance? Does everyone developing the tracks have supercomputers?
Probably partially, and then also we don't have full servers, so it's
okay. So you think it doesn't come into play until you're able to get 22 riders on the course?
Most likely, that would be my guess and my assumption. That's just from my experience in the past. Obviously, I haven't been around this year, but
I'm not trying to blow you out. I'm just, to offer some sort of explanation.
Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest thing that we're up against is even a road. It doesn't load things down until you really get a full gate of guys out there and get them going. So.
All right. Well, while we wait, I might as well ride the track and show you guys what we're looking at.
It was a sick line around that single, Kellen. I really enjoyed that.
I'm using the low lines out here tonight, Mark.
Whatever you got to do for that lap time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Great track, though, in Oakland. And fortunately, in real life, I believe we're also going to have a dry race this weekend, which is not necessarily the normal characteristic of Oakland. Sometimes we have rain all week, and it ends up being dry on the weekend. But this week in Oakland, actually pretty sunny. And it's going to get a little overcast on Saturday, but hoping to have a dry race this weekend, which should be good. This real life Supercross series has been fantastic this year.
Oh, has it ever? I don't know why Chris gets to go all of them, but it's not fair.
I'm home a couple weeks.
What's the next one you're going to, Chris? Minneapolis?
Minneapolis, home race for me. I'm excited. It'll be good. East Coast opener.
Sucks I have to miss it.
That's round 6?
Round
travel
6.
for work
Yep,
that
we
week.
have Oakland and San Diego coming up, and then into Minneapolis. And hopefully there won't be a snowstorm, and hopefully it won't be too crazy cold.
Is it snowing right now in Minneapolis?
There's snow on the ground. It is not snowing, but it is very, very cold.
I don't envy that. Alright, still trying to show you guys around this track and doing just a pitiful job of it, so maybe I'll try to find someone else putting the laps down here. Maybe Daniel Batta, what do we say? While we have a little bit of a break, I might as well remind everybody that is here watching the broadcast tonight or maybe watching the playback on YouTube that next week we actually have Military Appreciation Night here in MX Simulator. We are going to be streaming, obviously, from about 6 p.m. Pacific to about 9 p.m. Pacific, and during that 3-hour time span, all donations made to our donation link will go directly to Wounded Warriors. So we're trying to help out those that need some help, some wounded veterans of the military, and to do so, to kind of support them, we're going to send those donations over, but we're also asking any riders that are racing in the race next week to rep some custom skins, you know, get your military themed stuff out. Old people always love doing the camo, even though it's really tough to see them after they do that, so things like that, or you know, whatever you guys want to do, just something fun next week to shake things up a little bit, add some flavor to the series, and I think that'll be a pretty good time. I'm actually looking forward to it.
It's like the urban or digital camo, not camel. Jesus.
I didn't know there was such thing as an urban camel. I want to see that thing now. Just
I love
cruising down the
urban
streets.
camels, man. They're the best. I think that's the best look. When 7 Gear debuted that, I guess it was desert camel, but it was still with the digital pattern. That was probably the best looking camel gear I've ever seen.
Yep, I love that camel gear for sure.
Camel gear, yes. Well, you know, dude, I am from Egypt.
While we haven't been, I forgot to tell you, Kellen. Ran into a Sim faithful that's working in the trenches of Supercross, been helping his rider make the last couple of main events. Robbie Wageman's mechanic, Justin, is a fan of SYS and MX Simulator Racing.
Yes, I actually have met Justin a few times. I really like Justin, and I went by his pits this past weekend, and him and Robbie were not there.
Is Robbie the brother that makes the mains, or?
Yes,
Correct.
yes, sir.
RJ is the one that he still rides Yamahas.
He's on a
right?
Yamaha, but he works for Suzuki as a contract. Yeah, and I got to meet him at the 450 shootout, actually.
What a dirty little whore.
I've actually met RJ before. I've never met Robbie, but RJ's a good dude. He's a nice character, and maybe getting a little bit too much flack for people that accidentally picked him in Pulp Fantasy, but hey, at least his name's getting out there in some sense, and good to see that.
That's on you if you're picking the wrong dang guy.
I didn't pick him. I'm just telling you what others have said.
If people are blaming him for having a close name, that's completely misplaced.
Looks like we have a Heat 2 lineup coming on up here in just a moment. So I'll give you guys a little rundown. Coming to the line, Jake Rose, Jeremy Schiabro, Trent Shepard, Hunter Porch, Sean Klein, Will Whiteley, James Ohashi, Dalton Plussinger, Austin Bear, Fernando Andrade, Craig Leak, Skylar Kramer, Kamar Glover, Alanis Solis, Braden Carter, Reno Brennan, Cody Dahl, Andrew Massart, Nathan Zaworski, James Schuler. That is your field. Heat number 2 of the 250 class. Here in Oakland, the Black Hole.
The Black Hole, indeed. You know, I've actually been surprised. I haven't noticed much of the all-black gear being ran just yet. Figured that that'd be a common theme here in Oakland.
Do we have multiple SYS riders in heat races here. I see Nate Zaworski on the gate in this one. I know that Zach Dupuis made the 450 and Alex Heckman. Could every race see an SYS rider in it tonight?
Oh boy, that would just be so special.
Yes, Ethan Parks did a good ride tonight after getting fined for cutting the track last week.
Yeah, unfortunate that our team policy says if you get any cuts in game that you have to pay a $500 fine, and unfortunately Parks got that one last week. So
that's part of the prestige of being on the team.
Exactly.
Yeah, just looking at the black hole comment, I don't think Skylar Kramer could be further from all black gear, as he looks like a freaking human highlighter out there.
Has he got the high vis stuff or what?
P6. Check out P6.
Right, hold on, I gotta load in.
I don't know if I like the highlighter craze better than the splatter phase, mainly because I live the splatter phase.
Oh, yep, Skylar Kramer out here. That is interesting. I suppose if you are not a Raiders fan, that going anything but black and white this week is probably the way to go, right?
Skylar Kramer rocking that look of the stuff you keep in your desk drawer but never really use. Whiteout and highlighters.
He's taking the definition of lit kit to a whole new extreme.
No, that's Marv with that Leat that lights up.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, that stuff actually is kind of cool, though.
All right, well, we are about to go racing. Heat number 2 on the gate.
Yeah, we have last week's winner, Sean Klein, lined up down the inside. 2 inside of him. Round 2 winner, Craig Leak. Let's find out who's going through out of this heat race. It is time to drop the gate in this one. Gate is down, and it's Massart on the 223, which Klein... Massart to the line first, but he slides out, and Klein takes over the lead. Leak right there in second.
Both those riders coming from that 5.6 range on the inside, just like I said.
Linus Solis hits the deck, takes Dalton Plessinger down with him. Braden Carter now moves up into a top 5 spot along with Hunter Porch. He was really good in qualifying earlier. Let's see what Hunter Porch can throw down on the number 99 as he's running in the 3rd spot, trying to chase down Craig Leak and Sean Klein.
Yeah, Porch, your second fastest qualifier, as you had mentioned. He does have Carter putting the pressure on him, though, for that 3 spot early as they both get a little out of shape on the tire tap.
They're actually jumping over that. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or they're missing the triple.
I just don't think it matters, so it's quicker to hit her wide open out of the corner and hope for the best.
Just trying to get anything accomplished over that jump instead of crashing.
Yes.
The human highlighter running in the number 5 spot, being chased down by Trent Shepard, Jake Rose, Dalton Plessinger back going, and Jeremy Scarborough right now with the last transfer, 1 lap down in the books.
Now, speaking of human highlighter, Jake Rose has the setup going here right now that looks a little bit vibrant, I should say. As you mentioned, he's got Dalton Plessinger right behind him. Oh, Plessinger is down, though. And he's going to fall out of transfer spot. So Massart's going to try to close up on Brennan, who almost finds himself on the pole. A little too early for that. And here is Massart really putting the pressure on.
Sean Klein has gone down. He's dropped out of the number 2 spot. He's losing a whole bunch of spots over the triple.
Yeah, it gets going right alongside Jake the Real Snake Rose. It's got Schiabro right behind him. Got a little 3-rider freight train just over the finish line jump right here with Shepard ahead of them. Oh, Shepard off the track, actually. He's going to tighten this thing all up. And it appears Rose is actually the one putting the pressure on Klein right now.
Rose plays nice through that first corner. He could have dipped inside there and made it interesting for us.
Seeing a handful of these guys using the inside before that standard Supercross triple, where their last heat it looked like everybody went wide. So maybe we'll get a little more of a rut developed there.
I think it was pretty even in that first heat race. It's a tricky line to do. Not a lot of riders do it as we watch Sean Klein just butcher this rhythm section.
Yeah, it cost him 2 spots, so Rose went through, as did Schiabro, and Klein has to go back to work here. Meanwhile, Reno Brennan closing up from behind, and Massart still trying to race his way into this thing. What a freight train.
Still trying to figure out the consistency. He seems to have the starts on point. and has the speed. Just doing that consistently without the big mistakes is what he needs to make himself a championship contender. Out front, the battle for the lead, Craig Leake and Hunter Porch still dicing it out in the 1 and 2 spots. They have a bit of a gap over your third place rider, Braden Carter.
And if you remember, Porch actually won one of our 3 Triple Crown races last week as he makes a small mistake. Keeps it on 2 wheels, though. As I was saying, though, Porch definitely finding the groove this season thus far. Running strong, second fastest qualifier tonight. Despite a small mistake, has a chance of winning this heat race here. And then we see another battle brewing here between Trent Shepard and Skylar Kramer coming down the whoops. This is for 4th. Mistake from Kramer.
Trent Shepard's probably going to pull in the mechanics area for some sunglasses here real quick.
Yeah, he is going blind every second that he stays right behind Skylar Kramer here.
He's got an inside look here. Let's see if he takes advantage.
He's going to get there, and Kramer lets him have it. That could have gotten ugly really fast, but Kramer able to check up.
Kramer left with no choice as they got to the corner.
Oh,
Surprised he saw it and didn't end up on the ground. It looked like Shepard was definitely committed. Kramer had time to react, though.
Either got a spotter or he's riding third person.
Or he's really lucky.
Ooh, but Kramer's down.
Not lucky anymore.
No, there's a highlighter on the track right now. Got to get that thing cleaned up and maybe put a Sharpie there instead. Oh, look at Jake Rose from the outside. Triples onto his back and he goes down. That's going to put Dalton Plessinger in the final transfer spot.
Schiabro and Solis, who've both been pretty solid this season, are on the outside looking in. So Plessinger's going to have to lay the hammer down on the 333 split fire ride.
He's actually laying the hammer down pretty strongly here as he's really putting the pressure on Skylar Kramer ahead of him. Oh, we had riders down. Klein and Shepard. That's going to allow Schiabro through, and for the time being, it puts Shepard into the final transfer.
Yes, sir. With Solis right there with him, and they're going by Schiabro. Another rider tumbling off the track. That was Plessinger.
Plessinger down, so that's going to promote Solis into the final transfer, and Klein's trying to get through as well as Schiabro almost finds the pole.
Craig Leake going to extend this heat race 1 extra lap.
Oh, and Schiabro's down. He takes Solis with him. What a huge change here.
Merry Christmas to Sean Klein and to Plessinger, who's now back in a battle for the last transfer spot along with Jake Rose. But Plessinger has it at the moment with a mistake from Rose. Solis still not out of it. The last transfer battle is on fire right now.
Oh, and Plessinger's down before the triple again. So Rose goes through, but Solis gets him down the inside before the whoops. Oh my goodness, these guys are going back and forth like crazy, and there's still 2 laps to go.
Splitting lines in the sand. Jake Rose looks inside, not able to make the move.
And he has Schiabro really putting the pressure on from behind. It's any one of these 3 at the moment. Look at Solis actually slowly stretching it out just enough so that Rose can't attack. And now Rose is up and over the bars and he goes down. Now it's left to Schiabro.
Little case from Solis is going to lose him some time. Schiabro just narrowly misses that pole, but carried an incredible amount of speed onto the start. He has the hammer down right now.
Both these guys able to just squeak out that rhythm section despite kind of a weird entry to it. Ooh.
The guys right in front, of course, not safe either with a mistake as the white flag is flying. 1 more to go. The last transfer up in the air. Schiabro trying to lay it down and make his way around Solis.
Oh, Solis. Little out of sorts coming across the start straight. Boy, oh boy. Schiabro's really throwing caution to the wind as Solis almost went through the front door there.
Oh, he's all over him now.
He's taking a peek inside. It doesn't look like he's going to be there soon enough. He's going to try the on-off around the outside.
Battle for the final transfer spot is on in Oakland. Schiabro. Well, up front, it was Craig Leake with the victory, but all eyes on this battle for the final transfer spot. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be the Lithuanian? Alana
Yeah,
Salas
looking up the inside.
down the inside. Oh, and he lays him out, and they're both down.
Here comes Schuler.
Schuler is tiptoeing in his jorts through this rhythm lane, and they're both going to get up together. Salas still in it with a chance. Schiabro off the track, but Schuler's going to try to hang on by the skin of his teeth here. Down the whoops he goes. And look at that. The 87 of James Schuler goes to the main event. And it was Salas getting taken out by Schiabro that knocked them both out of it.
Oh, my favorite part of this setup is that they have to race each other in the LCQ again, baby.
Oh my. I think that there are going to be some chat words exchanged between Schiabro and Salas there. I'd imagine.
Get that fireworks.wave file queued up.
I'd imagine.
Schiabro was giving him no room. So little room that he put himself up into the bales and put them both on the deck.
Yeah, I'd imagine the Lithuanian rider there, Salas, is not going to be thrilled at all with Jeremy Schiabro.
How about that new subscriber, Kellen?
I see it. Moto Danny 28 subscribed. Thank you so much, Moto Danny 28. I appreciate you, good sir.
We have the 450 heat races coming down to the line. It's going to be exciting if these 251s are any showing what we're going to see in the 450s. We didn't get to see the front much because that last transfer battle was so good. Coming to the gate, we have Garrett Olver, Brandon Berg, Jacob Hubbard, Alexis Leclerc, Matthias Janis, Dominic Tiberino, Jared Seidoff, Chris Channing, Roy Mitchell, Tyler Lang, Logan Higney, Kyle Robb, Chase DeSalle, Jeremy Smith, Alex Heckman, Jack Fowler, William St. Laurent, Cole Caden Speck, Jeremy Cohenauer, and Zoe Cross, lining it up here in the 450 class heat race number 1. Top 9 to the main.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the big bikes? These guys are going to go out and just lay down some huge lines on the tracks. We're going to see some maybe fours on the track, see a couple quads mixed in there. As Mark Zeidler would say, did somebody say the quad father?
Oh, quad fathers. You know, interesting track this week where they have the jumps lined up right alongside each other in that first rhythm section where you can see it's not really, if you go single over the table, next single, it's not really a quad, but it's not exactly a triple either.
Is this the race? Did I miss warm up?
This is the race
okay,
right now on the gate. 450 heat race number 1. Gate is ready to fall any moment.
All right, here we go. 450 heat number 1. Taking a look at Leclerc off the start. Doesn't get the jump, but Leclerc patented all the way into the first corner alongside Mitchell. And it's Leclerc with the early lead. Mitchell right there in second. And I think the Ford Smith, yeah, right there as well.
Cohenauer giving chase, and they have a little bit of gap already over Roy Mitchell, who runs in 5th as the top 4 take off.
Alex Heckman does not have a brain inside his head. Just if you watch his start, my goodness.
Oh, Leclerc busts a huge line into the turn, goes wide. We're already seeing new lines out of the 450s. This is going to be fun to see how they're tackling this racetrack, but Leclerc is set off trying to run away. Interesting
to see that Smith going inside while Mitchell went outside and tripled in still was a little bit faster than Mitchell perhaps as he actually closed up on him. Of course, Leclerc leads lap number 1, and as you saw, he quadded into that corner to open up a bit of a lead here. So it's Leclerc from Mitchell, Smith, the two teammates battling over second here. And boy, oh boy, oh, Smith loses the rear end on exit. And here comes Cohenauer down the inside on the 43, but he's going to think better of it and tuck in behind the number 4 machine.
Different rhythms again here. If this keeps up all night, I'm going to be excited.
So Smith, Cohenauer, Tiberino, Zoa Cross is up here, Matthias Janis, your fastest qualifier, and Caden Speck, speaking of all black setups, Caden Speck out here just murdering it.
Oh, dang!
Leclerc has opened up a gap over Mitchell. He usually is a speedster himself. So Leclerc maybe trying to do what we were kind of talking about and assert himself as the dominant force in this championship aboard the number 1.
He's
Yeah.
French. I don't think he knows how to assert himself.
From second on back, it's really starting to turn into a good battle here, though. Kohenauer starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Tiberino, perhaps.
Bringing
Also, we
Zoe
said-
Cross right with him,
Yeah.
man. That's a surprise to me a little bit. Zoe Cross showing some really good speed here right now.
Have we said Tiberino's name at all this season yet?
I don't know if he's been around much. Oh, his cross. Wow, I don't know how he didn't get landed on by Matthias Janis quadding in from the back. And now Janis goes off the track. Ooh, look at Smith. Trying to find an inside line on Mitchell. And once again, the two Prestige Worldwide riders are nose to tail for the 2 spot.
56.3 lap time the last 2 laps around. Leclerc is flying out front.
And it looks like Smith is really strong in the corners, but every time he closes up on Mitchell, Mitchell's able to get a drive out and just open up that gap just enough. Ooh, look at
Lappers coming
Smith.
into play early, triple inside.
That's the first time I've seen somebody pop that 3 into the corner, and Smith trying to make it work on his teammate, but around the outside, Mitchell able to quad into the outside and hang on to the spot. Ooh, into the tough blocks though. 42 of Jacob Hubbard going a lap down right in front of these guys. Smith gonna tuck inside behind Hubbard and get hung up a little bit.
Hubbard trying to get out of the way, but he had 2 riders coming in different lines.
Next up, Kohenauer trying to get around him as well. We see Tiberino still right there. Kohenauer will get around him. Hubbard's just trying to stay out of the way, as you mentioned. Oh, gotta be careful. Man, oh man, Jeremy Smith has just been living in Colton Mitchell's shadow this entire race so far.
Harsh words.
See if he gets this triple again.
Whoa, triple single to the inside. Oh, and there was nearly contact with his teammate, but this time I think he's going to make it stick. Let's see if Mitchell gets the quad. No, it's Smith going for the quad this time, and he gets it. So the 4 is Smith. Now asserts himself into the 2 ride. Mitchell back there in 3rd, Kohenauer 4th, and Tiberino trying to avoid a lapper there in 5th. Back to Matthias Janis in 6th, 7th for Lang. 8th is Caden Speck, and 9th for Zoe Cross. Jason Sell down in the long rhythm lane, so nice gap for Cross to work on here as he tries to hold on to the final transfer.
Looks like the guy coming through the pack right now is the 18 of Tyler Lang. He made his way up from out of a transfer spot. Now he's knocking on the door of your fast qualifier, looking at the 6th spot right in front of him.
Yeah, Lang definitely stepped it up last year. He was kind of the surprise of the season, I would say, last season, being national number 71, obviously now down on number 18. Really rode strong. Him and Janis both really kind of came out of nowhere for that fact. Got a rider down at the end of the rhythm lane. It is Hubbard who is still going a lap down. As Lang continues to stalk Matthias Janis. Mitchell has had his problems as he gets into the tough blocks again, now behind Tiberino and Kohenauer. Nothing really doing in terms of battles at the moment as Leclerc continues to lead here.
Leclerc's dropped his lap times off pace a little bit from what he was running earlier, down into the 58s the last few laps around. I was wondering if he'd keep working on that 56.
And we see Leclerc maybe ride the best when he is frustrated. An angry Leclerc is usually a very fast Leclerc. And for those of you that haven't been following us here with MotoOption SX's Leclerc busts a quad in the middle of the rhythm.
Quad father.
The quad father Leclerc was irate last week that...
Oh, he wasn't irate after week 2?
Yeah. Yeah, but no, he was irate last week with the situation where Tyler Lang practically cut the track to take him out in the final race of the night. But yeah, definitely was upset at week 2, upset with week 3, still hasn't clicked off his first win of the season, being defending champion. I think he's looking to
Clicked
make
out
a
the
mess.
back door right there.
I was going to say.
On the last lap with the lead, an 8-second lead at that.
Decided to move to Georgia real quick and join the 12 o'clock boys in the middle of the rhythm section.
I believe that's Baltimore. Don't be so disrespectful to the 12 o'clock boys, okay?
What about Atlanta?
It's Baltimore, bro.
New rider up in the number 9 spot is now Kyle Robb. He's made his way around. Tyler Lang, the man that was on a move, is on the outside looking in. William St. Laurent just goes flying through the screen, cartwheeling his brains out, so he's out, not going to the main.
Meanwhile, up front through the whoops one last time, defending champion Alexis Leclerc going to the main event tonight with a heat race #1 victory. Leclerc on top. Go back to that battle for the final transfer spot. Not much of a battle at the moment. Can Kyle Robb hang on? Oof, Jacob Hubbard. Yeah, we've seen pretty much more of Hubbard than almost anybody else in this race so far, and it's pretty much because wherever we find a battle, we find him going down. Robb's just trying to hang on here in the last couple corners. About it for Caden Speck putting it into the main event tonight. Great ride for the 144. And Kyle Robb goes to the main event in Oakland. Lang, DeSalle, St. Laurent, Seidhoff, Oliver, Heckman, Berg, Fowler, Channing, Hubbard, Heagney, and Mitchell not going through out of this one. Well, boys, I think Alexis Leclerc looks pretty good here tonight, if I do say so myself.
I'm actually more interested in the formation of riders after the finish line. They land from the finish line and just slam the brakes on and stop, and they're all set up across the track.
Well, they were until Leclerc punted Mitchell out of the way there.
Yeah. Very, very interesting formation. I guess I don't understand what they're doing here. Leclerc still hot lapping. Getting after it.
Well, he'd love to feel what the track feels like when it gets more roughed up, a little bit more eroded.
I don't think eroded is a word, but okay.
You know, in SX racing, Mark, we just make up words like outstandable.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, well, ask Aaron Plessinger.
Healthy Iceberg. I saw another really great name in here. It was along the lines of Healthy Iceberg. It had nothing to do with a healthy or an iceberg. But it was two like unrelated words that were hilarious together. I'm going to scroll up and find it.
By the way, thank you, Healthy Iceberg, for the 3 bits and 2 cheers. Really appreciate anybody that does the bits of the cheers. Amazing Potato?
Yes, that's the name that I liked. I guess those are slightly related, though.
It's like one of those things that pop up on Facebook where it's like your birthday month is the first word and then your birth date is the second word, and you just combine 2...
Yes, my stripper name.
Sure, I was going to go with something different, but sure.
Well, that's the one that I remember, that my stripper name was something like Barry McCockiner or something like that. I don't know.
Foxy Grandpa?
Yes, that's definitely my stripper name. Thanks for calling me Team Havoc over here. Foxy Grandpa. So we got our 4th SYS FAMMX Rider of the Night in our 4th heat race. Zach Dupuis, after Heckman was very let down like in that last main, wins a heat at Glendale, 15th position in that last heat race, a lap down.
Okay,
very embarrassing for the team.
Good stuff, Mark, but definitely you're missing out the biggest factor, the wild card in this race.
Oh, Spencer Turley in this race, boys.
Yes, we got Spencer Turley out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Not a wild card, more like a sure thing.
I got a story about Spencer Turley for you, Mark, but I'm going to save it for after the stream, so be sure to remind me.
Will do. Well, maybe won't do. These comments tonight brought to you by Twisted Tea, by the way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for the final heat race of the night here in Oakland. 450 heat number 2 is lined up. They're set to go, and the gate is down in Oakland. Championship leader Siebel right outside of the box there, coming in. He's going to swoop around the outside, but it's Armstrong on the 33 with the hole shot. Siebel's going to settle in right there in the 2 ride. So it's Armstrong, Siebel, And then Shipley on the 39 is also up here. We got Daniel Mills, Danny Boy, Zach Prokop also in the mix. Different lines as Mills is down. And Siebold looking for the lead on Armstrong. Doesn't get it just yet. Armstrong fighting back down the inside. He's going to have the inside going into the whoops here. Siebold keeps cutting back around the outside, but he's going to be on the outside into the final corner. And Armstrong holds the lead. Lap number 1 in the books. Canada's finest, James Armstrong in the lead, and Siebold is into him and down. It's going to stack up Shipley. I think that was Prokop going through down the inside. Dupuis also up in the mix. And maybe the 27 of Adam Holm. Or rather the 12 of Race Carlin, I should say. You get a kick out of this one, Mark. In chat, Healthy Iceberg says that his name was going to be specified chair. That's a good one. How about this pressure being put on Race Carlin, putting the pressure on the 71 of Zach Dupuis, former national champion in Race Factor Gaming competition. Zach Dupuis ends up alongside the number 12 of Race Carlin as the 30 of...
Oh, they crossed lines.
Yeah, Reed Young went off the track. And some chaos ensued once he re-entered right there. Not his fault, but obviously Carlin and Dupuis getting together, and then a couple other riders getting stacked up in the corner. Now we got Holiak putting the pressure, oh boy, onto his teammate. Then there's a bunch of guys down after the whoops, including Holm on the 27, fifth in points. Turley's down, everybody's down after the whoops. And Siebold, our points leader. I'm trying to latch onto him. Here he is. Not a good spot for Siebold here, 16th. Shout out to Virok Live in chat too, by the way, for the 100 bits. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Glad you can join us for this awesome racing action here in Oakland as Siebold up to 15th now, putting the pressure on Sabrina Ritzler and now getting jumped under from Spencer Turley. Turley, you never really know where he's coming from. And 1,000 guys down on the triple landing, so Siebold's going to go up to 12th here. On board with him, and this is just the best of the best here in MotoOption Supercross. Oh, and Siebold through the front door and off the bike. And it changes everything up just like that. So let's reset. Where are we now? It is Armstrong, your leader. Carlin second. Prokop third. Holiak fourth. Reed Young is in fifth. Jack Haley right here in sixth. Seventh for Shipley. Eighth for Zach Dupuis, 9th for Gunnar Fugler, Ritzler is 10th, Copeland 11th, and Spencer Turley right there in 12th. We are still waiting to see Siebold get up and charge forward into this group. Oh man, what a turn of events it would be for the points leader to go to the last chance qualifier tonight here in Oakland.
Well, I think it's going to happen at this point. This is a pretty ugly heat race for him so far.
So Turley trying to get down the inside of Copeland. Copeland from the outside, able to still clear that Supercross triple. Meanwhile, Sabrina Ritzler trying to put the pressure on Gunnar Fugler. And speaking of rivalries, two guys that do not like each other, Gunnar Fugler and Zach Dupuis. Dupuis getting into a server a couple weeks before the season started, and Gunnar Fugler just in there clowning him.
I don't think he's about to like him much more right now.
Oh, Fugler down the inside makes the pass. I think Dupuis probably got a little bit of help.
Oh, Dupuis whipped on him, though. That's a total bitch move, making a pass and not throwing a big fatty over the finish line.
So Fugler makes the pass, puts Dupuis onto the bubble, and Sabrina Ritzler charging up from behind, trying to make a challenge for that final transfer spot.
Blonde mane just flowing behind her jersey right now.
Yeah, Sabrina Ritzler. She used to wear a neck brace and her hair would just sit perfectly on it. Now, no longer in the neck brace. I think we had a rider go down there. That was Holiak falling out of transfer. He's going to try to fight his way back up into it, so that puts Dupuis up into 8th. Ritzler is now in the final transfer, and Copeland suddenly finds himself in a great spot. Holiak just lays into Spencer Turley. I don't know how Holiak didn't go down right there. But he makes the pass on Turley. He's going to set sail. Here's Copeland trying to get Ritzler. Dupuis stuck in the bales. Over the finish line, jump they go. Man, oh man, it is chaos. Look at Dupuis trying to use that inside line to his advantage, but Ritzler is now right behind him. one of these three guys, or one of these three guys and one gal, I should say, is going to be on the outside looking in here in just a few moments.
That sounds like a cool porno film name. Too bad there's not a cup involved.
Oh, look at Copeland.
Oh, he's going to get passed on both sides if he doesn't hurry up.
Oh my goodness, Dupuis really holding up this field now. And look at Holiak.
Oh!
Quads of the outside. Dupuis is off the track. Copeland makes a mistake. He's jumping off the track. He's going for the low line through the rhythm section. Cases that triple back onto the track. He no longer has testicles that will work. And Dupuis,
trying to work his way through all these riders and snag that last transfer spot.
So Dupuis went off the track. He is going to try to... Oh, but he's down. He's with Holm, though. And Holm's trying to go forward. It is now Ritzler and Holiak in transfer. Holiak is really putting the pressure here on Sabrina Ritzler. Holiak, a former 250 East Series champion, 2016 champ, quads to the outside again, and it looks like if you can make that outside line work, it is clearly faster. And Holiak makes a nice smooth pass on Ritzler. Here's the battle we really need to keep an eye on, though. Copeland and Holm. Holm 5th in the championship standings. He's trying to get around Copeland so that he can try to run down Sabrina Ritzler for the final transfer spot. Siebold also needs to go forward. Look at Holm, slides down the inside, gets Copeland over the finish line, and just whips across him and takes his front wheel out.
That's how you make a pass right there, boy.
So now Holm, with 1 lap to go, has to run down the fastest woman in MX Simulator, Sabrina Ritzler, 2012 450 Indy Supercross winner. Out here still killing it, but jumping off the track. Little dangerous there.
Not what she needed on this lap.
Not at all up front. James Armstrong takes the victory. We hardly talked about him. Carlin 2nd, Prokop 3rd, Haley 4th, Shipley 5th, Young 6th, Fugler 7th, although all out of sorts. Holiak in 8th, and Ritzler in 9th. Will Holm get there? Oh man, this is going to be awfully close.
Not looking good right now.
No, it's not, but he bonsai'd down the whoops last lap. Does he do it again? Ritzler has to stay on 2 wheels, and she will do it, but it's going to be very close across the line. 0.7 of a second. I don't think Ritzler will have cuts. I don't remember her going off the track at any point in time really specifically. How about this, though? This is probably your storyline right here. Points leader, Jeremy Siebold, going to the LCQ.
Tries to turn some extra laps so you get familiar with the track. Maybe learn how to race it a little bit better. Maybe went a little too heavy on the qualifying lines in the heat race. You know, didn't hit the consistent lines.
It's very, very possible.
I would fully expect them to be able to correct this come LCQ time and make the main.
By the way, cuts did not change a thing. It was Armstrong going through, and he's stoked there with Ritzler.
Almost a minute after the checkered flag has fallen, still vigorously humping the seat of her bike. This is dangerous territory. I think. I don't agree with this at all.
The male sim rider advances on the female rider.
Tackles her. Asserts his dominance. You guys are all about that assertion earlier.
Yeah, we did like the word assert earlier, that's for sure. By the way, joining us in the booth for the last chance qualifiers, because, I mean, he loves these races just about as much as Chris does. I think we're going to have a fight to the death to decide who loves him more. But how about it? Moto Agogo joining us. Moto, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Hello, sir. How are you both doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Glad to have you in the booth, as always.
Thank you. I saw that Checkers was a bit busy, so I thought I might step in for a little bit.
Absolutely, not a problem at all. Excited to have you in here for our last chance qualifiers. Of course, For those of you out there that don't know, MotoGogo, also a Twitch streamer. You can check him out at twitch.tv/MotoGogo, or you can head over to startyoursystems.com/live, where his broadcast is also nicely displayed just below ours. If you're on that page right now, you can actually scroll down and see MotoGogo's stream just below us. And I believe you're actually hosting us right now, Moto, so they might have an inception going on.
It's
double the stream power.
Twitch on Twitch climb.
So do you ever stream on YouTube, MotoGogo?
Oh, don't even want to get into that. It's my only claim to fame right now, so I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
This guy got banned from YouTube. I think I would add that to an intro when you're introing him.
Indeed. And as soon as MotoGogo makes top 10 in 450 Pro, he's got it.
It's controversial. Like, what do they say in is it semi-pro? Will Ferrell?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell is the line? I can't remember it right now.
Oh, I can't
Someone will
remember.
get it in chat for us. Don't worry. That's MotoGogo right now. It's controversial, man. It sells.
Dude, even Pulp X talked about it. It's got to be big.
Yes.
All right, 250 last chance qualifier on the gate here. A couple of big names in this one that would love to stamp their ticket to the main event tonight here in Oakland. Only 4 go, though, and it's really anybody's race who it's going to be. By the way, Mountain Cat in chat letting us know that was Blades of Glory, Mark. Blades of Glory. All right, we have got ourselves Austin Bear, Seth Garrett, Cody Daw, Fred Heather, James Ohashi, Ethan Parks, Will Whiteley, Nathan Zaworski, Ian Holm, Connor Grogan, Chase Donovan, Christian Reed, Jake Rose, Jack Gatlin, Kevin Gonzalez, Neil Fitzpatrick, Kamar Glover, Alanis Solis, Dalton Plessinger.
A lot of heavy hitters in the LCQ tonight.
Yeah, Fernando
That's for sure.
Andrade also here. Definitely guys that would have a frown on their face if they can't make it through into the main event here tonight. I'm just happy to see a couple SYS FAMMX guys out there tonight, because the first round of the year we only had 1 guy make it out of qualifying. Now tonight
for
we have
sure.
4.
Ethan was looking pretty good in his heat until I got the lag bubble of death around the corner, so
Yeah,
definitely going to come back out swinging for this one. Yep.
Clint Martin using a fake name, freaking Clint Scria. Not only is he using a fake name, but he's cheating with his Aussie lag. Control your lag.
Who's cheating? Sorry, I wasn't out here. I was, I don't know how Ralph and Ricky get through a whole night without pee breaks. I mean, I guess they have commercial breaks.
Yeah,
don't
I
they?
was gonna say
They do,
have
yeah.
We need to add
commercial.
commercial breaks here, boys.
Okay, I can have that arranged.
I got some Twisted Tea commercial. I think we're ready for it.
The only problem is that in real life, the TV schedule kind of controls when the race starts. I don't really have that power.
Yes, we do, Callan. I bet you do.
I don't know.
You have that poll. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, do we have all of the SYS FAMMX riders and LCQs?
Yep, Ethan Parks and Zaworski are here, and Puma in chat says if Zaworski makes it to the main, he's got to donate. So come on, Nate.
Here we go.
I need some money. I got to pay for dinner next week. Let's drop the gate in the 250 LCQ here in Oakland. Who's it going to be? Oh, Solis. Yard sales halfway down the start straight. Gatlin, his teammate, gets the whole shot. Donovan right there with him.
Daw right
Ian
now in
Holm?
the bubble with Garrett right behind.
All the Holmes are also in LCQs tonight. Ian Holm going for the lead. Whoa, what a move!
And Gatlin able to triple on by, so Holmes going to lose a spot to Seth Garrett. Ethan Parks is up here. Christian Reed also here in 5th. Couple guys struggling through this rhythm lane. Ian Holm a little short. Ethan Parks has to kind of stack up behind him.
Ooh, tumbling down the whoops.
Oh yeah, that was and another rider down. Ian Holm going down, I believe. Austin
Yeah,
Bear
Clark
went
Glover's
down.
going to get through.
Bunch of riders on the deck, and it's Gatlin leading from Parks in 2nd. Glover now up to 3rd, and Solis down on the start straight, literally halfway down the straight, already up to 4th. So I don't know where the heck this Lithuanian came from.
Oh, Andrade almost going over the bars on the way into that corner.
Connor Grogan trying to put the pressure on, and as you said, Andrade also here is again almost going over the bars.
Oh, the track re-entry. Yeah, I
Gets
just
into
guys just saw that as well.
Grogan with another track re-entry, still almost going over the bars.
Austin Bear swerving across the track in front of him.
It must be the LCQ because these guys are just going for it out here.
These are good LCQ tactics for sure.
It's the AM Races of Pro Night.
It is. This is your top 5 AMs on the track right here.
Hey now.
Ethan Bear, or Austin Bear, I should say.
Oh,
wait.
Oh.
Best racing of the season so far.
Pinball action going in the corner here.
Bunch of stuff going on. In fact, Nathan Zaworski is creeping in here. We got Gatlin, Parks, Glover, and Solis in the top 4. Garrett 5th, Ohashi 6th, and Nathan freaking Zaworski's in 7th. Come on,
I was
Nate!
gonna say, Nate going from 9th to 7th in that corner, taking out a couple with him, but hey, it's an LCQ, so
Dad needs a new pair of shoes.
Come on, Nate. Your mom's so proud of you right now.
She really is, I'm sure. Ah, Jules.
Still looking through again. Gatlin out front, Parks, Solis, and Garrett. I mean, what a stack up here, but Ohashi now right here as well. Oh, and he goes down.
Oh, Hashi. Oh, Hashi. Yeah, Robert Wilson making the pass.
Whipped on him too while doing it.
Indeed. But as you said, Mark, it has to be done, really. I mean, if you're Zaworski, man. Oh, Zaworski!
Zaworski cleans him on the rhythm lane.
That was a really interesting tactic. I don't know if I've ever seen that one before. That was like Randy Orton, man, slithering out of nowhere. Goes in for the RKO, and Ohashi into the Davalos bales. So all kinds of chaos kicking off. Up front still Gatlin, Parks, Solis, Garrett. Pretty much untouched. Kamar Glover trying to close up on Garrett.
Battle for the lead. Parks runs right into the back of Gatlin as Gatlin makes a big mistake. And it's going to close him back off.
Holy crap, are we about to have our first SYS FemMX 250 rider in the main all year?
No, dude, don't give him the commentator's curse.
What are you doing, Kellen, man? Do you just not want your riders to make it?
Come on, it makes
Parks
a better
is just following
storyline.
him around right now,
The first
actually.
team captain I've ever seen that doesn't want his own teammates to win.
Yeah, Parks is really not wanting a piece of Gatland here. I think he's just content and sitting a second here. Sandwiched between our Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing riders as the white flag is now waving.
Sand is getting very chopped up in that corner.
So it's Gatlin, Parks, and Solis kind of separating themselves now from Garrett. Kamar Glover, light as a feather. Fred freaking Heather. Fernando Andrade, the Brazilian sensation. James Ohashi. Cody Daw, Robert Wilson, none of these guys are going to go through tonight.
Ooh, Garrett just made a mistake. Here comes Glover, but he's off the track.
Oh, and he makes the pass off the track. So cuts could come into play here, so long as Seth Garrett just gets close. If someone's in chat telling him, definitely going to be some cuts there for Kamar Glover. Whoa, Seth Garrett goes for the quad into the corner.
I swore Parks was going over the bars.
He's off the track again.
Oh, look at Garrett inside!
Garrett,
Oh, they're both down, and look
Here
at this on
comes
top
Light
of
as a
him.
Feather, Fred Heather.
Light as a
gonna
feather,
cost
Fred
him.
Heather. And he's
All he had to
bringing
do
the
was
Brazilian
finish right
sensation
behind
with him. Gotta imagine Glover's gonna have cuts here as he brings it
case
down.
there-
Look at these kiddos getting into each other in the
fast.
corner. Glover with the 4th place position. I think Garrett's gonna be too far back to get it. I don't know what Andrade was thinking, but he didn't need to get Heather. He needed to get 2 more spots ahead of him, and they get together.
Left nothing on the table in that
He
corner.
was
That's
thinking
for
about
sure.
that Pulpamex raffle money, baby. Fifth in the LCQ.
Andrade is still trying to get over the line. Connor Grogan back here. Fred Heather. Nathan Zaworski not going through unless a substantial amount of cuts come into play here. Fred Heather, Cody Daw, Christian Reed, Austin Bear, Robert
Cuts are
Wilson.
in.
And
No
it doesn't change. Glover had half a second of cuts, but that is not going to change it one bit. So it's Gatland from Parks, Solis, and Glover. Ethan Parks, I'm
Pretty
proud
sure
of you.
pretty sure that Glover might have just dropped a banana in that corner, and that's what really happened. Mario Kart action.
That seriously,
Little
those
bit of
guys just
Mario
all
Kart
plowed
action.
each other.
Wait, is
It
he a
was-
Brazilian?
Andrade?
No, whoever Glover dropping the banana.
Ah ha 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 ha. Technically, it'd have to be Italian, wouldn't it be?
I'm not sure where the darn banana joke comes from.
You correcting yourself from cursing is the worst ever because you do it and you
just
go,
draws more attention.
oh wait, no, I should correct that. Very obviously, I should correct that.
Hey guys, listen to what I just said. It was a total curse word that I shouldn't have said.
We got 450 LCQ lineup check coming up. We got some hitters in this one. Can't wait
Yeah,
to
we
see
do.
what's about to go down.
Including Seabolt. Can't
I was
believe he's in the
gonna say.
LCQ tonight.
We have the biggest hitter literally in this thing right now. The points leader has to make it out of this one if he wants a chance at this championship. Oh, it's crunch time in Oakland.
Yeah, joining those guys on the gate is a lot of fast guys. And an interesting racetrack. Coming to the gate, we have Jeremy Seabolt, Tyler Lang, Brandon Berg, August Sanders, Jacob Hubbard, Jared Seidhoff, Daniel Mills, Benny Landry, Chris Channing, Roy Mitchell, Eduardo Simos, Dylan Copeland, Chase DeSalle, Adam Holm, Dylan Gatlin, Spencer Turley, Jack Fowler, Zach Dupuis, Alex Heckman, Garrett Over, William St. Laurent, Logan Heagney. Those are your riders coming to the gate. 450 LCQ.
Did August Sanders even run a heat race, or is he just showing up for the LCQ?
I really don't remember August Sanders in the heat.
I don't think he was in the
Even
heat,
either.
though.
I mean, he's seated in here. He's got a decent gate pick, so he did, but
Did he?
I got no
Heckman with the
recollection.
whole shot from the outside on the
Wait,
warm-up lap.
I was going to say, the race already started.
The
You're
warm-up
freaking me
lap.
out, man. I'm still sitting here waiting to load in.
That's all right.
Freaking me out, Chris. Come on.
Just making sure you're on your toes.
It's all right. Zach Dupuis winning the warm-up lap. Good
No!
warm-up lap, bad race.
Yeah.
I know. The curse.
Come on, Zach. What are you doing?
Galaxy Man changed his bike between the heat race and this race.
Galaxy man.
I'd like to point out, I had his bike skin in the heat race. You know, I saw him riding the Cowie. Now I see him on a stock Husqvarna.
Have you not seen the Ronnie Mac video? NASA's been helping him. They got a new machine.
NASA's helping Spencer Turley? Or Ronnie
Yes,
Mac?
absolutely. Spencer Turley, duh.
I believe it. I mean,
Same
he is
person.
by far the second most popular rider in MX Sim history.
Who'd be number one?
Donut.
That's true.
Donut.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Spencer Turley, and Donut is definitely fine. Oh, we got William St. Laurent, number 10 in points, also in the LCQ.
All
No
right.
mention to him been made so far.
Crunch time for Seabolt. He's got to go through right now. It is the 450 LCQ in Oakland. Not a great jump out of Seabolt. He's going to get shut off into turn one. From the outside, it's Alex Heckman with the hole shot. Seabolt right there in second. Copeland right there in third.
Tyler Lang was on the ground. One of the guys I expected to make the main out of this. Adam Holm runs in fourth up the inside of Copeland, trying to make a pass early.
Oh, Heckman with the super duper scrub right ahead of Seabolt out front.
That's how you lead a race, boy.
Oh,
Oh,
Dupuis into
Dupuis.
Copeland. My gosh, I don't know how neither of them fell off the bike. They dragged on their faces for the entire straightaway, and that's going to kill both of their chances right now.
Heck, a mistake in the lead is going to allow Seabolt to open the door and maybe take off with this thing.
This is exactly what Seabolt needed, is the race lead. Now, can he hang on? Lap number one about to be in the books. We still have 3 minutes and a lap to go here in this LCQ. And Seabolt has got it all to do to make it into the main event here tonight. Heckman second, St. Laurent in third, and Adam Holm in fourth. This is also a surprise to see Holm in this LCQ. Fifth in points entering the evening. Definitely doesn't want to miss out. In fact, we have 3 of our top 10 in points all in the top 4 spots right now as St. Laurent entered the evening 10th in 450 standings.
The pressure is definitely on Heckman as well, being the odd man out of this group. Everybody else needs this for points drastically. He just wants to make the show tonight.
He just wants to not choke, really.
Look at St. Laurent busting the quad mid-rhythm.
Quad to the inside.
Gonna get Heckman. Heckman had no choice but to check up there. He might lose a spot to Holm.
Holm almost runs into the back of him. He's going so slow at this point.
Let's see what Holm does here. Does he square him off in the corner? Just looking for a way around if he can. Got to keep an eye in the background as well as Dylan Gatlin's trying to close up. So keeping an eye on Adam Holm here. What can he do? Can he make the... Oh, St. Laurent is down! St. Laurent down and off the bike. He's going to get going still in a pretty decent spot. Didn't lose too many positions.
Seabolt's down.
Seabolt, your leader, down, and he's off the track. He's trying to rejoin as he jumps off the side of the triple face. Now back to our final transfer spot. He's behind Gatlin. So the lead goes back to Heckman. Adam Holm now in the second, Gatlin third, and Seabolt is fourth. Oh man, pressure cooker moment here for Jeremy Seabolt. He cannot afford another mistake at this time.
How do you feel about the pressure being applied down right now against LCQ? Riding the flagship bike in pretty much the greatest race of the night, leading, all sorts of pressure from behind.
I'm trying not to think about it is what I'm doing, Mark. Oh! Seabolt a mistake back here.
And he doesn't have just a nobody behind him. St. Laurent has been good this year, so any mistake from Seabolt would put him out of the main event and out of the points lead.
Battle for the lead here as well, as Holm has gotten right back to the back of Heckman, separating just a little bit, but he was right there on him.
Different lines into the corner. Holm's going to go outside and try to bust the 3 in. And then quad.
The old quad father out there.
Look at this, going to triple up for the Supercross triple, try to pull alongside the 292 of Heckman. Down the whoops, Holm. Ooh, almost into the back of him. Things are getting dicey out here, and we have 2 laps to go as they beat the timer. Seabolt now up to third, Gatlin back to fourth.
Yeah, while you were watching that battle, it was almost a mirror image right behind. Seabolt used the exact same lines, but he was able to make the move on Gatlin. But St. Laurent now wants the last transfer. He is all over the back.
Look at this. Oh, I thought he might try the inside on Gatlin there. Not able to get it done just yet.
Well, you guys are keeping an eye back there. Holm to the front.
So Holm to the lead out front. Now it is an MV Film sandwich of the SYS FemX rider Alex Heckman, but we're keeping an eye on our last transfer spot. It belongs to Gatlin.
That is one sexy sandwich I'd love to be a part of.
St. Laurent trying to put the pressure on Gatlin. It is going to be white flag waving next time by. Oh my goodness, look at the pressure. St. Laurent just absolutely throwing on the Supercross triple. Trying to pull alongside in the whoops. Cuts underneath before the finish. Contact, and he's down. He's off the bike. Gatlin gets going, and he's down. He's off the bike. Who went through?
No one, yeah, that was a lapper.
Oh, lapper.
Turley in fifth, baby!
Turley putting the
Spencer,
pressure on St. Laurent.
Galaxy is back.
Oh, Turley for sure going to send it here on St. Laurent. The Canadian rider ahead of him probably going to be shivering in his jorts here.
I would be.
Oh,
good line,
in the
Spencer.
mistake.
Good line.
Oh,
That's a
Heckman
hot
almost
line
off the bike, crossing the start straight. How do you almost crash on it straightaway?
Stupid rut.
If your name's Alex Heckman, it happens a lot. And he slid out again. And he's off the bike!
His legs
Are
off.
you serious with this? St.
Here comes
Laurent.
Spencer Turley into the corner.
St. Laurent going to go through. It's going to be YouTubing. Who's going to win it? It's Heckman. It's Turley. Up front, Holm and Seabolt go through.
Come on, crash, Alex Heckman. Throw it away in the whoops.
Final whoop section, Alex Heckman stays on 2 wheels. Laurent
Does not.
and Heckman goes through. Turley does not. Turley, the first guy not going through. He is going to get a phone call this week from either Swisscore or Moser.
Just short.
Mills getting taken out in the final corner by Fowler, and somebody who was a lap down absolutely sending it down the inside of these guys. Chris Janning. August Sanders, doesn't matter how low your UID is, he's going to the grandstands tonight. Chase DeSell, Zach Dupuis, all missing out. Cuts are in. Heckman actually got St. Laurent on cuts. It doesn't really matter, though. They all went through. Wow.
Awesome to see 2 SYS guys make it through the LCQ. Thank you guys again for having me during the LCQs again for another week. You guys have a good rest of the night. Thanks, guys.
Awesome to have you,
Bye,
Moto.
Moto.
Thanks, Moto Go Go, for joining us here in the booth tonight. It was great to have you, and we'll see you next week.
Love you. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is main event time in Oakland. 250 main event coming up first. Who do we got? Anybody want to make picks? Anybody daring?
Devin Davis and his face live stream. Why do we not have your face on the live stream, Kellen?
Nobody wants to see my ugly face. That's why.
Oh, I beg to differ. Green screen it, bro. I know you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says. Oh, Jeremy Seabolt, fastest lap in the LCQ there. On the last lap.
Nate just said, so SYS represented in every race of the night but 250 main?
No, we're all there.
I was going to say, we have a rider in the 250 main, so Nate is a member of the team, still doesn't know his teammates, unfortunately.
Good team spirit, Nate.
Yeah, just really struggling out there. I mean, really, it's just things you hate to see, I'm telling you, man. It's just that.
Great radio, bro.
Okay, DB.
We're not all French here.
All right, main event time.
Kind of crazy this. I don't feel like anyone's found the consistent line or the fast line around the racetrack.
Great radio, bros.
Nate drops in with the DV drop.
Dropping onto the starting gate, we have Devin Davis, Trent Shepard, Andrew Mussart, Jack Gatlin, Jonathan Hughes, Jordan Moxie, Braden Carter, Ethan Triptez Parks, Hunter Porch, Craig Richards, Jake Warden, Craig Leake, Skylar Kramer, Kamar Glover, Alanis Solis, Chase Blakely, James Schuler, Daniel Batchelet, Reno Brennan, Devin Ryan, Sean Klein, and Clint Martin rounding out your field. It's your 250 main event, first main event of the evening. 15 minutes plus 1 lap around the black hole of Oakland.
I want to give a shout out to Scootith Puff II joining us in chat right now. Good to see Scooty out here tonight. Good to see everybody out here tonight that has joined us, all 160 of you in chat right now. Really appreciate everybody who shows up and watches these streams here for MotoOption SX 2019. Can't believe it. 8 years running of the MotoOption SX series. Can't even bloody believe it.
I told you how I feel about British, Kellen. If you could just stop with that accent.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that British accent right there.
That's how I changed it.
Another shrimp on the bobby.
Yeah, another shrimp on the bobby, eh? Yeah, nah, Kev Steve. All right, who do we got? Versus PC one to watch. Somebody say a name.
Obviously, it's going to be Skylar Kramer with that highlighter here.
Wait, what did you say, Chris?
I was going to say Daniel Batchelet, but Kramer did have pretty good heat, and he'll be hard to miss. So even if he's whether he's out front or getting left, we'll be able to find him really.
Whether or not he's in the background, you will be able to spot him.
So officially, your versuspc.com one to watch is Skylar Kramer. Log on to versuspc.com and go buy some shit, please.
That is their slogan.
Race Tech ran of the night. Anyone?
I'm very, 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 very upset Spencer Turley's not in this main event.
That is a good rant right there.
All right, who's it going to be? Moxie's always really good on these starts, as is Jonathan Hughes, so we'll keep an eye on Hughes.
I see Richards is compressing the rear suspension.
Right next to the box. It's time, 250 main event, set to go here in Oakland. Drop that gate.
Klein, Leak with a good start.
Hughes and Massart. Massart with the whole shot, leaked down the inside trying to get it from him, but it's the 223 SPR machine. Andrew Massart with the whole shot here, and look at riders backwards in the opposite lane there.
Richards just outside the top 5. Sean Klein a good start as well. We had a rider down in the berm.
That was Klein. Got cleaned up by Moxie.
Bummer for Klein.
more of a racing incident than anything, but
Ooh, and Moxie down now as he gets in the back of the Leak, and Richards trying to avoid Shepard.
So Massart trying to take off out front, scrubs her down dirty over the triple. Greg Leak finding the hot spot on the season. Running up in the 2 spot. He's connected to the front of the pack. Trent Shepard up in the number 3 spot. Craig Richards runs in 4th, and Alanis Solis out of the LCQ runs up in the top 5 with Hunter Porch giving chase.
Yeah, second fastest qualifier, Porch right there in the mix.
New leader.
Change for the lead out front. Craig Leak on the number 11 goes to the front of the field. Leak, your winner at round number 2 earlier this year, wants to try to stamp his authority here on race number 4 of the season in Oakland. So it's
Richards
Leak
trying to move into the 3rd spot right now around Trent Shepard, who made a little mistake.
and behind him, Porch is able to get around Solis to move into the top 5. As we keep an eye on that battle there between Richards and Shepard for the 3 spot.
Richards looking inside, doesn't have enough of a run to drive it in just yet. So Shepard holding strong in the 3rd spot. He's off to a good start and almost off the bike over the bars.
Richards really putting the pressure here on Shepard. Shepard able to stretch it back out just before the finish line. And how about Porch there on the 99? Porch is really closing up here on Richards.
Yeah, Porch definitely gelling with this track tonight. All the way since qualifying, he's shown some great speed. Trent Shepard, I think, running the fastest laps of his life right now. Looks like he is just pinning the throttle, risking it all, but it's working as he's running in the 3 spot solid.
Different rhythm section. Up there, Shepard puts Richards, I should say, right behind him.
So Richards, after having a pretty rough heat race, just able to squeak into the main event in the last few corners or laps. Off to a great start in this main event.
Doing everything he can right now to get around Shepard. I think
Diving
he's got him
to the
sized
inside.
up. Shepard showing some great corner speed, but he's up over the berm. Somehow saves it. Loses the spot. Here comes Hunter Porch, throwing it dirty over the finish line now, trying to take advantage as well.
Yeah, you're watching this all on the stream right here from Porch's perspective, as you can still see Shepard and Richards right there ahead of him. Porch laying down a 1 flat point 2.
To the inside. See, Chris said no one was using this line. Hunter Porch making maximum use of it there.
All kinds of lines being used around this racetrack. Shepard, a little mistake, not going to get the triple. Port's going to get it. He's going to pull him right back up to his rear wheel. He's going to have the inside and makes the move.
So Porch goes through. Got to watch out for Solis in the background as Porch makes a huge mistake, and he's going to lose 3 spots just as quickly as he made up 1.
Although he's riding on the edge, Shepard looks like he's getting a little more comfortable out here leading, or in this lead group, running in the 4 spot. It's almost smoothed out a little as the race has gone on. Chase Blakely sticking his nose up here, up in the number 6 spot, as Porch drops back to 7th. Batchlet and Jack Gatlin running in the 8 and 9 spot right behind, and then Reno Brennan rounds out your top 10 aboard the number 89. But out front, Craig Leak continuing to lead, 2.6 seconds out front on the number 11 BPC machine.
A little mistake there before the triple out of Leak.
5 minutes in, things are started to spread out just a little bit. Let's check out lap times this time around. It's a 59.1 for Leak that time. 1 minute flat for Massart and a 59.2 for Richards.
Yeah, this is anybody's race up front right now. Massart looking for his first career win. Leak and Richards both looking for their 2nd win of the season. Third of the way in. It's still Leak from Massart. And now Richards really starting to close the gap up here on the 223 of Massart. Little mistake out of Massart. Doesn't get the line. Is going to close Richards right up to his back door. Oh, and Massart down. He was on his way down, and Richards gave him the extra little push that he needed. Shepard goes through. That was Blakely. Here comes Porch.
Richards amazingly unaffected by the contact.
And
Our
Porch
leaders
makes
just
the pass.
put our versus PC.com one to watch Skylar Kramer a lap down. His race not going well, but as I said, we wouldn't miss him as they go by. Richards now up into the number 2 spot. Trent Shepard holding strong in 3rd. Chase Blakely giving chase.
We also have a battle of the Craigs out front right now, so if we could just stop using last names, thanks.
Craig's been solid this whole race, but Craig is coming hard from behind, and a mistake from Craig
Oh,
is going to really
Craig!
tighten things up.
Craig coming hard from behind, right in his tailpipe.
Man, credit to Trent Shepard here, who is quietly putting together the best ride of his career.
G-Shep definitely been fast this year, maybe not consistent as he needs to be, as he pieces it together early in this main event, about halfway through.
Behind him, Massart dealing with Blakely.
Best battle on the track right now is for the number 4 spot.
Blakely looks like he's actually got a little bit of breathing room to work with at the moment. Not much.
Not much at all. Massart really pretty much right on his tailpipe. Of course, he is followed closely by Alanis Salius out of the Netherlands or something like that. I don't know.
Lithuania.
Yeah, close enough. Lithuania, isn't that where Kawa is from?
Yes.
Yes.
Reno
yes.
Brennan and Hunter Porch have just hit the deck. This is going to crash them out of the top 10. As we're just hitting the halfway point. You know what time that is? It's time for a MotoOption top 10 rundown, y'all. Up in the number 1 spot, Craig Leake leads the way.
Craig
Richards runs in the number 2 spot. Trent Shepard split design code number 80 strongly in 3rd. BPC rider number 16 Chase Blakely runs in 4th. Andrew Massart 5th. Alanis Solis on the 54 runs in the 6th spot. Back in 7th we find Daniel Bachelet on the BBS number 86. Coming around in 8th, the 34 of Architects Jordan Moxie. There in the 9th spot, the number 70, Clint Martin, Transmoto ride. And running out the top 10 is no longer Jack Gatland as he crashes out of it. And Hunter Porch from Prestige Worldwide on the 99 takes over the top 10. This top 10 rundown brought to you by MotoOption. Go buy some shit there.
I would like to point out in 20th position right now is Devin Ryan, who is having some ferocious problems with his aggressive cat running over his controller. Wish him the best in recovering from these issues.
Still in the race, but running in the 21 spot is our versus PC.com one to watch Skylar Kramer, the human highlighter.
I want to check in on last week's race winner, Sean Klein, who has struggled his way forward. He can only manage to get up into, I believe this is 15th, trying to go to 14th right now. And
He was just higher than that a few seconds ago. Looks like he must have had a crash on that lap.
Blakely has overtaken Massart for the number 3 spot.
Nice job, Chase. Chase really proven himself to be a solid rider in this championship so far. Maybe not so much for a win, but definitely for a top 5 every week.
Trent Shepard has fallen down to the number 6 spot. Hopefully he can regroup a little bit as he's had a great run going, but now he has heavy pressure from behind from Jordan Moxie on the 34 as well as the 86 of Bachelet.
Moxie is a rider I would not want to get in a battle with. He doesn't seem to care. If he goes for the pass and takes you both down, he's going to go for it anyways.
Oh, nearly contact. Throwing a little bit of dualies action on the triple. Let's see the lines. Moxie getting out of sorts on the whoops. Oh my goodness, Trent Shepard.
Doing his best Wheelie Boys impression, leaving the whoops. Bachelet's closed the gap right up into this group as well. So Bachelet, Moxie, and Shepard dicing it out hard for that number 6 spot.
That's what I like to hear right there. This battle continuing to go on as Shepard makes a small mistake at the end of the rhythm. That's going to allow Moxie to close right up. Shepard just able to get the triple, comes up short. Moxie makes the easy pass down the inside. Now Batchet going to work on him.
Yeah, Batchet ran his best lap of the race in 1 minute
Shepard
0.3
down.
last time around.
So Shepard hits the deck. Moxie has some breathing room, trying to go up to get Massart. Massart's still trying to track down Chase Blakely. Craig Leak has Craig Richards still about 5 seconds behind him.
Neither rider able to make much, or I guess Craig not able to make much progress towards Craig. Both holding station pretty well.
As Chase keeps giving chase, trying to catch up to Craig, and Craig,
as he laps Ethan Parks.
Ooh.
SYS Famac MX rider having a wild ride on the lane.
I was going to say. Clips a rider, wheelies across the start straight.
Triples through the rhythm lane, bro. That's what we do here at SYST / FamMX.
Looking like Sween Doggy out there.
best battle on the track might be the 1 for 6 still. Shepard has moved right to the back of Batchelor, and they're still dicing it out a couple laps into this fight. Shepard not ready to give up that 6th pace spot as he's got to get right over the triple.
Scrubs it down and makes
and
the pass.
whips on him. That's how you make a pass, boys. Remember that come Sunday night.
Batchelor up into the bales. He's going to finally end that fight as here comes Alanis Solis now to give him chase.
Batchelor totally devastated after getting whipped down on that pass. Did not know what to do in the corner after the whoops.
He really couldn't see straight. He was just so mind blown by what happened ahead of him.
Yes, definitely.
Still mind blowing. Now Solis is attacking from behind.
And he's going to make the
Another
pass.
Mistake from Batchelor. He is mentally screwed. He needs to go visit Donut.
Trying to get himself in sorts like that video. Eggs, bacon, grits, Batchelor over here.
"13 minutes in, a couple minutes and a lap to go." The gap between Leak and Richards still very similar, right at 5 seconds. Chase Blakely solidly in third, Moxie fourth. There's Massart and Shepard. Shepard has refound his groove and is now trying to challenge back into the top 5. He got a confidence boost. He's winning the mental game after whipping down on Batchelor.
Ooh, mistake for Blakely. Moxie's not that close. Massart, Shepard.
Yeah, this top 5 battle is really good right now. From Shepard,
Oh,
almost
Shepard
over the bars, but he's going to go for the pass
Running
here.
the 450 line here. Not giving one single F right now. You like that censorship? Thanks.
Perfect.
Doing Big Daddy lines through the rhythm lanes. No one else even attempting these, much less completing them successfully. T-Shep, okay, well, you're not going to make passes if you bitch out over triples like that, pal.
I tell you what, watch Shepard. He's getting on the gas extremely early in the corners compared to Andrew Massart right in front of him. Now he's making up a lot of time by doing that.
Both of them
Lapped riders in front of
rail
these
the
guys.
titties off that sand corner.
Now that lapper is out of the way, and the next rider in their sights is Moxie. And Blakely not far in front of them as well, and that's the last podium spot. Gap for the lead is stretched to 10 seconds. So Craig has separated himself from Craig as we're about to expire time. Leak coming down to the finish line. He's going to have
Gonna
two
get an
to
extra
go.
lap.
So Craig is stoked that Craig made it to the finish. Blakely, Moxie, Massart, and Shepard all battling for this number 3 spot. What is going to happen with 2 to go?
Trent Shepard is going to start throwing big ol' huge fat whips and drive off the track and not pass any of them.
Massart's down at right before the finish. So Shepard's going to move around him. Only 2 left to fight in that battle now as it's Blakely and Moxie.
I think Blakely in this battle, although he makes a small mistake here.
Ooh.
Another mistake, but Moxie a bigger one
down.
off the bike. Here comes Shepard, but he makes a mistake. That corner may be getting a little blown out. You guys having troubles timing the rhythm. Shepard, Moxie, going to be together off the triple face.
Oh, these guys from the inside trying to get that triple slide in the rear end all the way up to the face.
They got our versus PC.com one to watch right in front of him. About to go a lap down. A big mistake from Shepard.
2 laps down, I do believe.
Oh, Shepard!
Clear.
Oh,
Blakely is off the bike. No, not off the bike, but he's backwards in the whoops.
not ideal.
Right back to him. White flag lap. Longest main event of the year so far, by far.
Not longest in time, but longest in laps.
True.
Well, this is anybody's game here for this 3-spot coming down the wire. Up front, though, the first 2-time winner of the season, and doing it in massively good fashion, dominating fashion. The Oakland Supercross goes to Craig Leak as he takes the checkered flag and a big stylish whip over the line to boot. Richard should have second on lock, but this battle for third not entirely over. In between traffic, Moxie trying to jump in.
Moxie not giving a single F right here.
Oh,
Charges for the final podium position.
Blakely looks like he's going to hang on through the final set of whoops. And over the line, Blakely gets on the podium tonight. Moxie ends up
just
fourth.
went down.
Yeah, Shepard down. Here comes Solace looking for a top 5 tonight here in Oakland. Does he get it on Shepard? Yeah,
he
Shepard
knocked
wasn't
Shepard
even
out of
there.
the way.
Solace
That
over
Lithuanian
Shepard.
leg coming into play.
How about Sean Klein getting all the way back up to 7th by the line? Massart in 8th. That's a salvage ride for Klein for sure. Batchlet. Clint Martin is trying to hold off Reno Brennan. This could come down to the wire here. Look at Brennan. Oh boy, over the berm. Woo! No prisoners.
This is for the last position.
Clint
They're still in
Martin
it.
gets 10th. Brennan 11th. And cuts come in now. Nothing changed inside of the top 10. It was still Leak over Richards and Blakely. And now our winners up on the podium right now. We got Craig Leak and Chase Blakely hanging out. No sign of Craig Richards. He is over it. Wanted to win tonight. But it goes instead to Craig Leak. Teammates on the podium.
Richards got some solid points, but the momentum of the series shifting towards Craig Leak.
Jordan Moxie wants to come up here and spoil the party. He's had none of it. But it's Craig Leak tonight, your winner, inside of Oakland Alameda Coliseum. Blakely joins him here on the podium. And Richard splits them for second. Moxie's still trying to knock him off the podium, keeps missing. Ian Thompson asking, if I was a kid in high school, would I drop out and become a YouTube streamer? No. That's a bad idea. Stop. Get some help. I stayed in school. I went to college. Got a degree. I recommend the same path.
You know, I did not go to college. I do not have a degree. I actually have to work for a living. But it's not that bad.
Coming to the
Honestly.
gate, we have Jeremy Siebold, Caden Speck, Dominic Tabrino, Matthias Janis, Alexis Leclerc, Zach Prokop, Gunnar Fugler, James Armstrong, Reed Young, Race Carlin, Jeremy Shipley, Sabrina Ritzler, Connor Holyak, Colton Mitchell, Kyle Robb, and a couple other drivers as the green flag has flown on the warm-up lap. And the off-road moped hill ramping competition is about to go underway.
Two things in chat. First of all, C4 Detonator, I had a vlog come out in December if you wanted to check that out and see how slow I am. Really, it's nothing special. Please, nobody ever ask me to post riding videos because it's horrible.
Can we do a vid where I coach you?
Sure.
I'll fly out. I'll pay for the flight.
Also, number 2, one of the favorite things I saw tonight was someone tell someone else in chat they're not going to be able to make it next weekend because their dryer is too loud that weekend.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense. You know, like a loud dryer seems like a really far-fetched idea. If you told me your washing machine was loud, I'd believe it. But your dryer being loud?
Oh boy. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 4 of the 2019 MotoOption SX Series, live here on SYS TV, right here in Oakland. The 450 guys are lined up. The best in the world are set to go. The revs are up here in Oakland, and the gate is down. Huge jump, Gunnar Fugler from the outside. Not going to get it.
No.
It's
Siebold
Leclerc.
is down along with Heckman.
Siebold and Heckman down as it's Smith and Carlin right behind Leclerc, and Carlin went down. Everybody backwards in the
Smith
first
able to
rhythm lane.
survive. Heckman in the wrong lane after the start.
So here is Leclerc with the lead from Smith. Holiak is up here. Zoe Cross, Armstrong, your heat winner. Shipley and Carlin. I don't know how Carlin is up that far as he was down in the second corner.
Haley got the short end of that stick. And the three
Haley
riders
is
stack up.
16th, Siebold 17th.
Is this the night that Leclerc steps up to the plate, picks up his first win of the season, gets a dominating victory on top of it, and maybe, just maybe, works himself back into the championship lead? It might happen right here in Oakland as he leads lap number 1, a big lead over Jeremy Smith.
Zoe Cross and Connor Holiak, good starts. Let's see what they can do with these great starting positions here in Oakland.
We did
Armstrong.
see this. Go ahead, Colin.
I was going to say, Armstrong, your heat winner earlier on in the evening, also finds himself up near the sharp end of the field. And Armstrong, a former winner in the 450 class out here, knows how to get it done. So he's going to try to go to battle with these guys.
Shipley down on the triple landing. That's going to cause a problem for a lot of guys. He's right in the main line. Kyle Robb hits him and goes down. Somehow everyone else is making it through. Haley has gotten collected as well.
Just as quickly as Armstrong was trying to make a pass on Holiak, Holiak actually spread it back out and now has Zoe Cross in his crosshairs. Both these guys trying to set sail right now after Jeremy Smith in the 2 spot. Nobody touching Leclerc.
First main event of the year. Having a good ride early on.
What a great 3-rider battle here for third.
We saw that Cross had a pretty solid heat race as well. So maybe just gelling with this track. From what I know, he tends to like the more technical tracks, and I think this one with all the options is that type of racetrack.
Yeah, but Spencer Turley loved Glendale.
Look at Holiak going to the outside with the quad. Doesn't get the triple in, though, and that's really going to kill him in this rhythm lane. How about Carlin coming into the mix as he triples down the inside? He's going to try to get both of them. Not able to get Holiak just yet, but putting the pressure on.
Carlin going to set him up in the whoops with a nice little crossover move to the inside. No. Holiak able to protect.
I think Nate just tried to log into my Twitch account because I just got a verification code.
He's going to play some drops for you.
This battle, though, is epic as Carlin's the general, still putting the pressure on your 2016 250 East champion Connor Holiak. Zoe Cross has had no problems with this pressure, but now he makes a mistake, and Holiak's into him, Carlin's
he's gonna
into
get
him,
everyone behind him.
and Armstrong's
Janice.
into him.
That will allow fast qualifier Martinez Janis to squeak past all of them into third position.
Yeah,
Is he
after a
almost
terrible
finished
start,
ball?
Holm is now up to 4th, right in front of his teammate Carlin, who's almost on top of him.
Oh my goodness. Look at
And there's
this.
Siebold into 6th.
MV Films Train, and Siebold's going to jump by them both and go into 4th. So what was looking like a really bad night for Siebold is suddenly looking really good as he gets around both his teammates and now finds himself just outside of a podium position.
So Siebel must have navigated those first couple laps cleanly, finds himself up in the top 5 with plenty of time to still get up near a podium. Not even completely out of winning this thing, although Alexis Leclerc has a 5-second lead, 56.9 last time around. He's laying burners down at the front.
Yeah, we saw this at Anaheim 1, though. And he fell apart late in the race.
Ooh, speaking of
He's
falling
off the
apart.
track.
Yeah, a little mistake here. Gets the rhythm going again, but not before Jeremy Smith makes up a little bit more time.
Don't count out the 24 of Matthias Janis. He is definitely fast on this racetrack, as we saw in qualifying. He has a good run going, but he's going to be getting pushed from behind from Siebel here in just a moment.
Oh, Siebel, every time he enters those whoops, he just looks a little out of shape, but just plows right through them. And he is absolutely flying right now. A 56.9, only other runner in the 56s. So he's going to try to put the pressure on Matthias Janis ahead of him. Track map upper right-hand corner of your screen shows you where everybody is on the track. Race leader, green dot, Alexis Leclerc. Hitting the long rhythm in the back. Jeremy Smith, not too far behind him.
Remember, we're going to have more lappers on this track than normal, as we're going to be going more laps with a shorter lap time than we've seen all year. And full duration, 20-minute plus 1 lap main events. Also is going to break down a little more. A lot to still happen, as we're only 5.5 minutes in.
Janis down after the rhythm section. Hands Siebold the 3 spot. Now Janis gets up right ahead of the general Race Carlin. Adam Holm also right there. It's just an MB Films fest out here right now.
Yeah, as you see, Janis is actually in a little different looking graphics kit, as he is a support rider on the team, battling with the 3 heavy hitters.
Janis, a small mistake. Here comes Carlin looking. Nothing doing just yet. Holm still lurking in the background as well.
Leclerc 56.6 last time around. So a little mistake the lap before, but he found a heater last lap. He's about to come to the line. I'll let you know what his lap time is this time. 56.4. He is getting faster, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy moly, Janis almost went down and ended up backwards in the track. Meanwhile, Holm quadded over Race Carlin and moves into the 4 spot now. Boy, oh boy, these guys are flying right now. And the gap continues to extend just ever so slightly over Smith out front. Leclerc is putting down heaters. But maybe the biggest question mark of this race, as you mentioned, Chris, lap traffic. And Leclerc is starting to eke up on a little bit of it. Couple riders down in the corner. That looked to be Prokop down. Leclerc smoothly around him.
Jeremy Smith quietly in second. Leclerc just inching away a little bit, but we know Smith known to be really consistent and be able to get through traffic and a technical track with sort of ease and consistency.
Saw Kohenauer was down on the outside of the corner there. Leclerc scoots around him.
Holmes went down. He's dropped down to the number 7 spot. Armstrong and Janis back through.
Look for a battle if we can. We see Jack Haley back here just ahead of Zoa Cross. He's moved up to the 9 spot. So Haley is far back as 17th on the early laps. Obviously, he was also back there with Siebold. So he didn't quite make the same progress yet as Siebold has. However, Haley making good
Alexis
progress.
Leclerc off!
Leclerc down at the end of the rhythm lane, hands over the race lead to Jeremy Smith, and it changes up the entire complexion of the race. We are not yet halfway through, and Leclerc has to go back to work to try to get the race lead away.
And only 6 seconds behind him, we find the points leader of Jeremy Siebold, who's continuing to move forward. 56.7 fast lap for him. So he's also has near the pace of Leclerc as well.
On board with Leclerc now as he tries to hunt down race leader Jeremy Smith. Ooh.
Neither of these guys electing to quad up into that corner. Leclerc goes outside with the 3 in. Doesn't look like it made him up time. There's a rider down in the corner.
Able to navigate around him smoothly. And the tire tap looks like it's kind of sketching those guys out every
Leclerc
single lap.
definitely looking like the more comfortable rider here.
Boy, very unorthodox. Leclerc through the whoops going first gear wide open. Normally he likes to run the higher gear, kind of bog it down, but he blitzed him in first that lap.
He's got to run looking inside, but back out of it.
Look at this, inside! Makes the pass and puts Smith on the ground, so Jeremy Smith goes down, and he's going to get up just behind Siebold, who scoots through into second.
We might
Does not understand why anyone doesn't like him, but he cleans out every rider he passes. Alexis Leclerc to the lead.
I tell you what, we might have to remember that one later in this season. Jeremy Smith, as solid as he is, one of the most skilled guys in the game, not somebody that I would want to be making enemies with as I'm trying to chase down a championship.
And I'll tell you
I
what,
think that the number 4 will forget about that.
Leclerc is definitely not out of the water here. He still has a lot of lap traffic to deal with, including a couple more right in front of him. And it's not going to be too long before he starts doubling down on lap traffic too, with the way this field is already spreading out.
Halfway flag's just flown. Let's take a look as Leclerc is almost off the bike as he went off the track into the bales. I was going to say let's get a little top 10 rundown real quick as this battle for the lead is starting to shape up. Leclerc leads. Siebel all the way up to the number 2 spot straight out of the LCQ. He's looking for that DC shoes money. Jeremy Smith runs in 3rd. Race Carlins, the general, runs up in 4th. Janice, strong ride up in 5th still. Kyle Robb, 6th place on the 23. Then we find Adam Holm back in 7th. Jack Haley up inside the top 10 in 8th. He's got a lot of work to do to keep himself in some solid points. James Armstrong runs around in the number 9 spot aboard the 33. And rounding out the top 10, it's Sabrina Ritzler aboard the Whip Style, number 75. Zoe Cross gives chase behind her, Shipley, and then Alex Heckman. We didn't pick a versus PC.com one to watch, so Heckman, you are our versus PC.com one to watch with a solid 13th place position right now.
Can we hit Sabrina with a teenage witch nickname, or no?
I don't think she's a teenager anymore, though.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean...
Well...
Neither was Melissa Joan Hart when she played the character. No, we're giving up on that. All right, that's cool.
Moving on.
Last time around, 1 minute, 0.6 for Leclerc, 58.5 for Siebel, 2 seconds out of that lead, a lap ago. Could be due to lap traffic, could be to the track breaking down. We'll have to wait and see how this battle is shaping up. It's right now at 5.7 seconds is the gap. And Smith not out of it either, only 3 seconds back from Siebel in the number 2 spot. The dueling Jeremys.
Looks like
track already pretty gnarly.
Exit ruts are definitely forming a little later tonight than they have in the earlier rounds.
Track's getting pretty beat, and it seems like it's causing some mistakes for Leclerc. Maybe for all the guys, just happens to be. I'm not used to seeing him make so many. Leclerc 56.1, his fastest lap of the race was last time around.
Oh, it looks like he's trying to turn up the intensity for sure out front. Just keeping an eye on this lap traffic, though. We got a rider down. That may have been Heckman before the Supercross triple. Does Leclerc see him as he's coming up to the jump? Looks like he's able to avoid him. Siebold trying to keep things interesting here in second. Smith still not out of it in third. Carlin, Janice, Holm, Haley, Robb, Armstrong, Cross, Shipley, Tiberino, Ritzler. I'm trying to figure out who has and hasn't been lapped yet. So Alex Heckman in 14th is the first rider 1 lap down.
feel like we're just waiting for the storm to hit right now. The battle for the #1 spot.
6 minutes and a lap to go. Leclerc getting the quad into the corner and cleanly 3ing out. That's going to be the thing that opens up the gap right there. Oh, he's off the bike! He comes up short at the end of the rhythm lane.
Seabolt into the lead.
And
if Heckman doesn't get involved.
Jeremy Seabolt to the lead in Oakland. The 19 machine finds himself out front. Leclerc back to second, and the battle is on here in the Coliseum.
Not sure how Seabolt's early laps went, but that is definitely the second fall off we've seen from Leclerc during the race.
Mistake from Seabolt. Here comes Leclerc.
We watched him dive inside in this turn earlier on Smith. He's setting up the same line on Seabolt.
Cutting under. Look at this down the inside. Seabolt just gives
Jason
it to him. Doesn't want
Anderson in
anything
the
to do
house.
with it. And Leclerc makes a mistake. Seabolt trying to pull back
cross
alongside. Ooh,
Cross jump Kyle, I
Leclerc.
believe that goes.
Now Leclerc doing some cross jumping. This isn't going to sit well with Seabolt one bit, and they have their teammate right behind him, Jeremy Cohenauer, as he moves out of the way.
Leclerc continuing to nail that quad into the corner. Looks like he has it dialed quite well, but it's one of those jumps that's the room for error is very small.
Leclerc looking like he is starting to struggle just a little bit with the roughness leading into that Supercross triple. Meanwhile, Seabolt just wants to keep things close. Seabolt does not need to win this race.
Off the track for Leclerc.
Leclerc off the track. Here comes Seabolt. He gets a drive. Does he think about it? Not quite. We're looking at about 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes and a lap to go.
To the inside of this first corner.
That lapper might be saving Leclerc from getting block passed in the same way he went after Seabolt, but
and
he makes a mistake.
Seabolt back to the lead underneath Leclerc. And it's back and forth here in Oakland we go. Look at these guys trying to navigate the lappers. Leclerc down the inside. Oh, boy. Woo! Got a kick on the triple face and just able to keep it together. Look at this. Nails the quad into the corner. He is on Seabolt now. And Seabolt makes a mistake. Gets into Leclerc and he's down. How did Seabolt stay on two wheels? But Leclerc is off the bike.
Gonna allow Smith past into second.
And remember what happened earlier, as Jeremy Smith is now right behind Alexis Leclerc. The #4 was leading the race before Leclerc put him down on the ground. Rider down at the end of the whoop. Smith blitzes right over him, somehow doesn't get front end lock, is able to ride away from it.
What the heck just happened?
He's just that good.
By the way, shout out Mighty Manny for the 1,000 bits in chat. I really appreciate it, buddy. I believe that's Lana
Mighty
Salas.
Manny. Yeah, that is.
Want to give a shout out to Jack Haley. He's moved up to the 5 spot. He's all over Adam Holm trying to get the #4 spot. So he is salvaging points right now as well with a great performance.
This has unfortunately been Haley's MO besides A1. Terrible starts, terrible first laps, and then charging through the pack the rest of the race in order to salvage decent points. Definitely needs to clean that up if he wants to be considered a championship contender.
Absolutely. And Haley actually used to be known for decent starts in the 250 class last year. He would get good starts and just cruise out up front and wait for the chaos to ensue and take over the lead. This year, no can do on a 450, and it's absolutely killed his chances here in the early goings.
No can-do'sville, baby doll.
Still putting the pressure on Holm, though. And if he can get up to 4th here, that would be huge. The pressure is on Adam Holm, the chemistry major out of Florida, trying to hold off Jack Haley. To the outside, Haley goes. Ooh, stood up in the corner. Amazingly does not get front end lock.
A couple laps ago, Holmes cutting down on that turn, missing all those bumps. It seems to work pretty well.
Different lines. If Haley could quad into the corner, that would be just as fast, but he can't get it out of there. Take a peek up front, see that Leclerc yeah, he
just had to double the triple as Zoe Cross was down on the face. He had to swerve at the last second and double up. He had opened up a little bit of gap from Smith, so the top 3 run the same. 5.7 seconds out front is Seabolt. Then comes Leclerc and another 3 seconds back to Jeremy Smith. We're a minute and 15 seconds and a lap from the finale here. So it looks like about 3 to go.
So I'm trying to figure out here whether or not Leclerc Maybe throwing caution to the wind and wanting to win this race, or does he just try to settle in and
Haley to the
salvage
inside of
points?
home for second or third.
And he's going to get it into this corner. Look at Holm with the cut underneath. Different rhythm once again. Oh, man, this is going to be close coming into this corner. Oh, and Holm with a yard sale. Huge crash for Adam Holm. That is going to hand the spot to Matthias Janis here. Not what Holm wanted right there at all. And has to go get Matthias Janis if he's hoping for some more points. Haley, on the other hand, very fortunately, ends up inside of the top 5.
Leclerc is down off the bike. It's dropped to the 3rd spot.
Oh, boy. Troubles for Leclerc. Still the white flag not waving just yet. We have not hit the 20-minute mark yet.
It will be 2 to go, though. We will get the white flag next time around. 3 seconds back is Leclerc. Now he's put caution to the wind for sure, trying to go after Jeremy Smith once again. Haley not far behind him, though. If he tries to push it and goes down, he will surrender a podium spot.
Leclerc really wants to get back around Jeremy Smith here if he can. Siebold out of the LCQ. I probably was just furious with himself after that heat race, the way things all shook out. Gets a bad start in this main event and somehow, before long, ends up in the race lead and looking to pick up another victory, his 3rd consecutive victory on the season if he can here tonight in Oakland, extend his points lead. One more lap to go to get it. Meanwhile, battle for second heating up. Leclerc starting to close up on Smith.
56 flat last time around for Leclerc. He has definitely put caution to the wind. Doing everything he can do to get around the number 4. I'm guessing Smith's going to definitely not make it easy as a mistake comes out of Leclerc.
And that's going to give Smith a little bit of breathing room, maybe the exact amount of breathing room he needs as Haley is still trying to lurk back here in 4th. No pressure. And Leclerc's off the bike. That's going to cost him a podium. Haley is going to go through into 3rd. Oh,
Leclerc
Leclerc
is down in the last turn, but he has enough of a lead to get up.
Oh, man, this is actually going to be fairly close as Siebold tries to get a drive through the whoops. And he does. The number 19 machine of Jeremy Siebold wins in Oakland. His 3rd victory of the season, 3rd in a row to start the first 4 as
Haley.
Smith just ends up in 2nd.
Coming across for 3rd.
Look at this ride out of Jack Haley to salvage points tonight as well. Jack Haley ends up on the podium.
Amazing recovery, but just not what he needs with Siebold being able to win 3 in a row.
Leclerc
with the rage disconnect. Matthias Janis coming home 5th.
The general, Race Carlin, is in 6th. Here's Adam Holm for 7th. Dominic Tiberino is pretty well all alone in 8th. James Armstrong looks like he has 9th. Fairly wrapped up, but Shipley not too far behind him. He is the last guy on the lead lap right now. And it looks like it's going to stay all that way as Tiberino crosses the line in 8th. Armstrong gets a 9th out of this one. And the OG Jeremy Shipley picks up 10th. Cuts are in. No change in your top 10. Siebold's still your winner tonight. Let me grab the demo, actually. And behind that, outside of the top 10, I didn't get everybody else. Ugh.
Oh, hopefully you got that demo.
I got it. I did get the
That was close.
All right. Wow. What a night of racing this was once again here. Round number 4 of the MotoOption Supercross Series in MX Simulator. Can't thank you guys all enough for showing up and watching the broadcast again tonight. It was great fun. Really appreciate everybody that turned out. Had a great amount of viewers as we push our way to partner. I think I only need to stream 4 more nights in the next 8 or so days, and I'll make partner on Twitch. So that's going to be super awesome. Thank you guys all once again for that. Any final thoughts, Mark, Chris?
I love
Just
it. I cannot wait for next week.
Definitely cannot wait until next week. Of course, I want to give a big thanks to all of our sponsors. MotoOption Clothing, 8th year running of the MotoOption SX series for MotoOption there. Racetech Suspension, Tagger Designs, FamMX, Versus PC, Ride365.com. Who else am I missing? MXS Lobby, MV Films, FamiMX.
I didn't hear Race Tech yet.
I said Race Tech second.
Versus PC.
Versus PC. SYS.
Can't sponsor yourself, Kellen.
Damn it. Anyway, thank you guys again for joining us tonight. Another great week in the books. And we will see you guys next week, round number 5 in San Diego. Remember, next week also will be Military Appreciation Night. All donations on the broadcast go to Wounded Warriors Foundation. And we encourage every rider out there tonight, or I should say out there next week, to wear military-themed gear and bikes. Definitely going to be a fun time. We'll be able to announce it on the forums again so you guys can follow up with that. And we'll see you guys next week in San Diego. So long for now.